George St. Pierre. He was the only champion to leave the sport on such a high level as a champion. And after that, the welterweight division changed. And it hadn't changed in so long. George St. Pierre was just dominant. And in his last 3 fights, he defeated 3 foes who really sold a lot of fights. These were really high-profile fights against Carlos Condit, Nick Diaz, and Johnny Hendricks. And that was it. He left us there. And we remember him with that ice pack on his head and all that confusion about the judges and which way it should have went. George St. Pierre left on top. And he wants to risk it all. He wants to come back. And he said it on UFC Tonight. He said that that's what he wants. He wants to take a crack at it and come back and win this welterweight title, which is now crowned by Tyron Woodley, a man who knocked out Robbie Lawler and really shocked us. Now, if George St. Pierre doesn't get the title fight right away, and it doesn't seem like Dana White is so keen on it, we might see this fight. We might see Demian Maia versus George St. Pierre. And since George left, Demian Maia had a loss against Rory McDonald, but he came back and won 6 in a row. And defeating Carlos Condit last time without bruising him even a bit. Just got the takedown, threw one punch when he was inside control, got him to the mount, got his back, and choked him out in that first round. And Carlos was defeated, dejected. He was mentally hurt, and we saw the pain go through his mind while he was laying on the floor after that loss. Now, Demian Maia put himself in a good place. I think he's ranked at number 3 right now, but he has to go through Wonder Boy, but he's really close to that title. And if these two were to match up, I want to ask the fans out there how they feel about this matchup. We know what George used to like to do, and I want to stick this in there. George did look a lot skinnier at that UFC Tonight interview when he was talking to Daniel Cormier. He looked like a different George St. Pierre. It looked like it had been a long 3 years. And, you know, remember this beefy guy. Will it be the same George St. Pierre? That's the question. This is the post-TRT era. We have USADA, and, you know, GSP entered into the USADA testing pool. Now, Demian Maia is, and there's no great word to say it. He's just the best. He's the best on the ground. He really brings it back, you know, to retrospect, back to Gracie. And he is the modern day Royce Gracie. That's really what he is. If you like jiu-jitsu, and if you like MMA, and if you're a fan of ground fighting, this is really where it's at. There's nothing better. This is the pinnacle of all that. Now, when he is able to get the takedown, and that's what he's been getting good at lately, he's been practicing his wrestling. If he can get it early, there's nothing like watching a Demian Maia submission. And if you're not able to defend it, he will gobble you up real quickly, and that'll be the end of you. Now, we know how great George St. Pierre is, but I really feel like the matchup here plays against George, that George St. Pierre won't want to take it to the ground. He'll want to just stand and jab, and I think he's going to get gobbled up. So if Demian Maia fought George St. Pierre, I would go out on a limb and say I would bet on Demian Maia. Demian Maia wins the fight.